Welcome to the virtual VT Seoul International Convention 2021. On behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to thank you so much for your participation and contribution to our annual convention success. We are Thảo Trần and Can Pham as the presentation's moderators. We are delighted to see all of you in light of virtual presence today, especially in this parallel live oral presentation. We do hope that all of you will be able to have some valuable knowledge and experience as takeaways following the talk. Before the presentation, there are a few considerations. In case you have any questions or concerns about the presentation, so please feel free to leave them in a chat box so that we can gather the questions for easy response in the 5 to 10 minute Q&A session. We gladly welcome Ms. Nguyen Thi Lam and Ms. Huỳnh Dung in this 30-minute parallel live oral presentation, which is entitled Promoting Students' Interest and Motivation Through Using KAHOOT Platform as a Formative Assessment. About our presenters, Ms. Nguyen Thi Lam is an MA student at the University of Social Sciences and Humanities. She has also been working as a teacher of the Faculty of Foreign Languages and Informatics at the People's Security University. She has taught English courses for non-major English students for over 5 years. Her interests are English teaching methodologies and applied linguistics. Ms. Huỳnh Dung is currently a full-time lecturer at the People's Security University, working with non-major students of different levels. She's keen on doing research focusing on students' motivation, as well as the application of new technology to teaching English as a foreign language. Now, please welcome Ms. Nguyen Thi Lam and Ms. Huỳnh Dung.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
You can start now.
Yeah. All right. On behalf of the authors, it's my pleasure to share with you our research paper entitled Promoting Students' Interest and Motivations Through Using KAHOOT Platform as a Formative Assessment. The presentation includes 5 main parts. Let's go through the first part, introduction. It is undeniable that web-based or online tests bring many significant benefits. First of all, according to Austin 2019, web-based tests offer reduced testing time and cost, quicker results, greater access for English language learners and students. Additionally, Garland 2012 pointed out that online tests have saved time, avoid teaching, and utilize flexible item designs. What is more, Harmon 2017, Slover and Munden 2018 indicated that online tests provide students with interactive question test types, which have them better problem-solving skills. In order to solve the testing problems in online classes at USPS under the crisis of the COVID-19 pandemic and strengthen students' interest and motivation in learning as well, using KAHOOT platform is an effective way to evaluate students' learning process. The study aims to explore how to implement KAHOOT platform as a formative assessment in online classes. Moreover, students' perceptions of using KAHOOT as a formative assessment in promoting students' learner interest and motivations were investigated in this study. In order to achieve the purposes of the study, the 2 research questions were formulated as follows. As you can see on the screen.
Sorry, Ms. Lam, can you unmute yourself?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. When it comes to literature review, which illustrate key points of motivation, interest, formative assessment, and integration of KAHOOT platform as a formative assessment into learning. First and foremost, motivation is defined as an inside motive that urges people to participate in a specific activity because they like it. According to Thielman 2006, in addition, the motivation also have a stimulate and guide people to meet their learning goals. According to Alexander Norman 2009 and Thielman 2016, there are two types of motivation. Intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is defined as someone's inside desire. In other words, students with intrinsic motivation are willing to learn because they like the subject. And extrinsic motivation, on the other hand, based on the achievement of learning goals, most students increase their extrinsic motivations because they want to gain higher scores or rewards, for examples. Let's come to interest. Interest is refers to person-object conception of interest. According to Kraft 2002, it means that interest is a result of interaction between individual and situational factors. Hindi 2006 indicated that interest has become a unique motivational variable in increasing a person's attention, concentration, and effect. Right? Moreover, Jalfaro et al. 2007 signified the advantages of interest. They said that interest fosters students to remember and understand learning documents. Also, interest have stimulate students' positive attitudes toward the topic. And in his study, Kraft 2002 concluded that an interest trigger learning activity leads to better learning results. In relation to formative assessment, it is construed as one of the most important and influential educational methods for promoting and discouraging students' learning and students' performance abilities. Furthermore, William 2011 defined formative assessment as the process of assessing students' progress and knowledge to identify their learning needs and adapt teaching methodologies accordingly, more appropriately. When conducting formative assessment, it intends to assist students in developing their own learning to learn abilities, as mentioned by Kalinin 2011. According to Cizik 2010, a formative assessment have determined students' strengths and weaknesses in order that the student can know their abilities and they can adjust their learning plan in the future more suitably. Last but not least, formative assessment facilitates students' learning and motivation and help them to engage into the lesson as well. About the roles of formative assessment, according to Heritage 2007, formative assessment provide feedback on various levels and influence students' motivation and self-efficacy. Yeah. Hitchin et al. 2002 indicated that formative assessment support intrinsic motivation from student side and develop students' curiosity for the learning topic and deep learning. Moreover, formative assessment guide outside the classroom learning, and students can know what they do after the lessons, and they can plan the learning process better. Yeah, and there are two models of formative assessment stages. The first one is given by Stella Legros Smith et al. 2006 with 3 stages, including pre-implementation, implementation, and post-implementation. Each stage undertakes certain tasks. For instance, in the first stage, pre-implementation, the teacher gives their student own instruction to have no that what they will do in the lesson. The second stage is the implementation of activities. And the last stage, post-implementation, is time for consolidation and evaluations of the students' learning process. And the second model is displayed by Bell Covey 2001 with a cycle of 3 steps: gathering information, analyzing or interpreting information, and the last stage is acting on or using information. And in this study, the first model was adapted and analyzed in the observations. Now, let's come to integration of KAHOOT platform as a formative assessment into learning. And undoubtedly, Banner's 2017 showed that KAHOOT is a free assessment tool that teachers can use at any time of the lesson as a formative assessment to strengthen students' participation. Yeah, Plum and La Rosa 2017 indicated that this tool to provide students with a free response platform, because when students participate in the KAHOOT test, they can respond, they can give their answer after the questions immediately. Last but not least, Underdog and Sandy 2014 expressed that using KAHOOT platform assists students improve their language skills, language features like vocabulary, pronunciation, and soft skills like cooperation and collaboration. There are several studies carried out about integrating KAHOOT into learning, and specifically in the study conducted by Zazie Curtis Court 2016, he said that students can learn grammar effectively with after they participate in KAHOOT tests. Turan and Murrow 2017 demonstrated in their studies that students feel less stressed when joining in class with KAHOOT tests. And Halim Taton 2020 concluded that students felt motivated and highly interested when combining the English learning with online quiz games like KAHOOT in their study. Now let's come to the methodology. This study is the combination of a mixed method designs, quantitative and qualitative methods. There are 3 research instruments used in the study: observations, questionnaire, and interviews. The observations were implemented in 8 lessons with 4 lessons for each class via Google Meet, and then questionnaire were distributed to 64 students through Google Form. And after that, 10 students were invited into the semi-structured interviews conveniently via Google Meet to share their insightful perceptions of KAHOOT platform. Today, the collected data was analyzed and displayed precisely in the PARC results and discussion. The first research question is to explore the stages of KAHOOT platform used in the observations. And the stages of observation were similar to those adapted from Steller, Legros, Smith et al. 2006. Nevertheless, when adapting their stages, there is some slight differences. Specifically, the first stage was adapted and changed into the instruction, and the second stage is changed into performance, and the last is changed into the assessment. And in each stage, teachers and students implemented different activities. So, yeah, in particular, in the first stage, teachers divide their class into 2 groups first, and then they give instruction to their students and explain how their students can join the KAHOOT test. And in this stage, teacher play a role as an instructor or facilitator. Students, on the other hand, in this stage, have to listen to their teacher's instruction carefully and have to join into group to do the KAHOOT tests. And in the second stage, students merely give the test questions and give feedback after each questions. And students in this stage, also give the answer for each question, and also they have to listen to their teacher's feedback in order to have them know the reason why they give the correct or incorrect answer for this question. And the last stage is post-implementation, and in this stage, teachers first teachers give test report and final assessment for their students. And students in this stage have to look at the test report to have an overview look about their test progress. And they have to listen to the teacher's final assessment in order that they know what they are not good, and then they adjust their learning in the future better. And the analysis of questionnaire and interviews is to answer for the research questions about students' perception of using KAHOOT in promoting students' interest and motivation. From the questionnaire, the first factor, formative assessment, pointed out that students gave their mutual perceptions on applying KAHOOT platform as a formative assessment to help them develop their language areas, language skills, and soft skills. They also share their opinions neutrally about improving their about recognizing their learning strengths and weaknesses in order to help them better in their learning future plans. However, they give positive perceptions about the teacher's feedback and final feedback from KAHOOT, which is useful for them in learning. And the second factor is motivation. In this factor, students give their positive perceptions about the items in the factor motivations, and they agree that KAHOOT tests help them to increase their motivation. Similar to motivation, students affirm that they share positive perceptions about the interest factor, and they said that they agree that now KAHOOT tests help them to increase their interest. In order to elicit in-depth responses, students share their detailed information, which was analyzed into teams in the interview, regarding formative assessment, motivations, and interest. In relation to formative assessment, first, students can identify their learning ability and evaluate their language skills as well as language areas. After doing the KAHOOT test, students can know they can improve their language skills, such as listening skill or reading skills, and they can better language areas, for example, grammar or vocabulary. Moreover, students can uphold their soft skills. Actually, students join the KAHOOT test with their groups, and of course, they can improve their collaboration and their group work skills after doing the KAHOOT tests. And in addition, students can recognize their strengths and weaknesses and adjust their future learning plans more appropriately. And after doing each questions in the KAHOOT test, a student can know when they choose the correct answer or incorrect answer. And if they choose the incorrect answer, they can recognize their weaknesses, and they can recognize what they are not good at, and then they have to review the knowledge point again and adjust their learning future more appropriately in order to enhance their learning process. Regarding to motivations, many students affirm that students they feel excited when receive quick feedback like scores after each test question. Yeah, after each question, students actually receive scores, and when they receive scores, they feel excited, and they also desired how many points do they can receive, and when if they can receive the highest score, absolutely they feel motivated and maybe they feel engaged in the lesson more. Moreover, useful feedback from teachers helps them motivate and avoid mistake in the upcoming tests. Yep, it's undoubtedly to say that useful feedback from teachers is very necessary to have students motivate in learning, because when students listen to teachers' feedback, they can know what they are, why they are choose the wrong answer for this question, and students also explain the reason why they give the wrong answer, and then students recognize their mistake and avoid this mistake in the upcoming tests. And about incentives, I think it's a good way to create helpful motivation for students, and all of the students after some interviewing, they like intensive incentives from teachers, and they said that when they receive gifts, small gifts or bonus marks from a teacher, they can feel more highly motivated for the lesson, and they try their best to better and get the best result in the next test. And regarding interest, students share that they feel interested in test question types and designs of Kahoot platform. If actually, while doing Kahoot platform, students like the various test types, and the students have a chance to experience a variety of test types, and they can will be checked, and they will test it with different test types, and the design of Kahoot is so eye-catching with the colorful interface, and many students share that they like the interface of Kahoot platform, and they like the way to design of Kahoot. Additionally, students share that they feel easy to remember learning topics through Kahoot tests. Yeah, there are many vocabulary items which are difficult for them to remember. After they do the Kahoot test, they will remember the learning topic such as vocabulary item more easily, and they think doing Kahoot test is a good way for them to remember, or they can remember the vocabularies or the knowledge of the learning topics longer, right? And last but not least,
you have like about 5 more minutes, right?
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yes, students feel interested in comparative and collaborative atmosphere.
Hello. Sorry for interrupt you, but we just only 5 minutes to have the Q&A, move to the Q&A section. So okay, so please, okay. So quickly to conclude your presentation, and then we have we have the Q&A section. Okay, Lam.
Yes. Thank you. But students feel interested in competitive and collaborative atmosphere. Of course. Absolutely. Students are joining in the KAHOOT test in groups, and they have to compete with each other, and they have to try to their best to give the answer as fast as they can, and to get the highest score. And they have to collaborate to get the best results. Yeah, in order to help students in learning, still some pedagogical implications would highly recommend it. First of all, students should follow their teachers' guidelines precisely in order to gain the best result. And also, they have always remind themselves of their self-discipline, because they learn in online classes. So they will be distracted by outside factors. So they have to tell themselves to avoid procrastination. And next, they always express their responsibility when they join in the KAHOOT test in groups. Last but not least, they should raise their voice if they have any troubles, in order that teachers know what their problems and help them to overcome their difficulties. That's all about our presentation. Thank you so much for your listening, and we hope to receive your questions with the purpose of making our research paper better. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lam. And now it's time for Q&A. Please, if you have any questions, do type them in the chat box so that we can ask Ms. Lam. All right. So questions are welcome now. Okay, so it seems that we were still waiting for that. So can Ms. Lam answer one question from us? Like, there are so many online platforms that can be used to evaluate students. So what do you think is the best feature of the KAHOOT platform compared to the others?
Oh yes, I think when we choose the KAHOOT platform, the first thing we choose this is because it is free online platform to design the test for students. And the second one, students can give quick response when they join when they do the KAHOOT test, and they can see the score after each questions. And it's when they receive the score, it is help the students to promote their their motivation, and they feel excited when they receive the score like that. And after each question, we can stop, and we can explain for my student if they choose the wrong answer and why they choose this answer like that. And after the teachers give feedback or explain, and the students know what they do, what they chose the wrong answer, and they will be avoid the mistake.
Yes. So thank you so much for your very informative answer to our question. There is another question here. I think that should be the last question. Is KAHOOT free for a big size class, I guess? Why many accounts limit only for 10 players?
Yes.
Oh, yep. Thank you so much for your questions. And you asked me why your account limit only for 10 players. I don't belong in this situation because when I organized the KAHOOT test in my class with the with the more than 30 students.
Mhm.
They will join the KAHOOT test as normally they
Yeah.
go. We
No,
don't
no,
have
pro
any
account.
yeah.
So
Miss Dung, can you
Okay, so I have somebody to share for this question. So actually for the free account, so it's do limit our players up to 10. So so we solve the problem by grouping the students. I mean, so the student can work in groups for 3 or 4, and they can compete with other groups. So this helps the student to improve their cooperation and collaboration as well. And actually, for if you want students to work individually for the big size classes, so you should upgrade your account. Yeah.
okay, thank you so much for your question. I think that we have a lot of more questions, but due to the time, the limited time, we cannot include all of the questions in the Q&A session. So you can email the presenters directly. So on behalf of VIC 2021, we wish all of you the best with the productive day and meaningful rest of your virtual convention. Thank you so much.
Okay, yes, thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, presenter Dung and Lam. Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.